Welcome to Yarnspirations.com. I cannot wait to get started showing you how to make the Flower Power Crochet Table Runner in a really terrific color palette of Lily Sugar and Cream cotton yarn. So to get started, you're going to need 8 balls of Lily. We have the colors all written out for you in the pattern. You're going to need a size H8 crochet hook, which is also a 5mm. And you're going to need this handy dandy pattern. Now, as you can see on the actual runner, the motifs are all different colors, and then it's joined up the center with that H color. That bright green color is the joining round. So what's going to happen is we're going to make the first motif, then we're going to join the second motif, then the third and the fourth. And then after I show you how to do that, you're going to learn how to join the additional motifs till you get to the other end. And then after these large flower motifs are all done, and they're joined as you go, so you don't have to sew them together after, then you're going to do this joining motif in the center, and you're going to work that in the center where every time 4 of the big flowers join. So this is a really fun pattern. The colors are bright, the motifs work up quickly, so you feel like you're getting somewhere fast. And when you have finished with your crocheting, it's already assembled. All you'll have to do is weave in the ends. Now I want to talk for a minute about this pattern. It is a 3-page pattern. So we have on page 1 all the colors that you're going to need, and all of those colors are labeled A through H. Now, on the 3rd page, we have the actual large motif as a stitch diagram. And it does point out where we're going to join, but we are going to talk about that more as I stitch on camera. Where things get a little bit confusing and you just have to pay attention and then you'll get the hang of it is on this 2nd page, we have the assembly chart. So I want you to look here at this chart on page 2. Where you see the letters A, B, C, D, E, A, B, C, D, E, A, B, C, D, E, these refer to color patterns. So these letters are color patterns, not the letters that we assign to the colors in the beginning, but over here you'll see where it says motif A, color 1, which is the first 2 rounds, is what we have labeled A at the beginning, and color 2 is what we have labeled as E at the beginning. For motif B, color 1, which is the first 2 rounds, is what we have labeled B at the beginning, and color 2, which is the second 2 rounds, is what we have labeled C at the beginning, etc. So this section right here is going to tell you which of these lettered colors you're going to use when. So that's how we know if we're doing the A color pattern, the B color pattern, the C color pattern, the D, etc. Now also in here you'll see numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, etc. Those numbers refer to how you're going to join them. So what order are you going to join the motifs in? That's your first one. That's the second one that you'll make. That's the third one. That's the fourth. That's the fifth. That's the sixth, etc. So this is the joining order. So the letter here is the color pattern, and the number here is the order in which you will stitch it. All right, so I'm going to clear the decks of all my beautiful colors, and we're going to get started on the first motif. Okay, the first thing I need to do is decide what colors I'm going to work with. So I'm working the number 1 flower, and my chart tells me I want color pattern A. If I look over here, I see motif A is the first color, and E is the second color. If I look down here, I see that A is jute and E is sea breeze. So, because I don't want to think about this while I'm stitching, I'm going to grab the 2 colors that I need, jute and sea breeze, and I'm going to make sure I have my ends out. So, you can do one of 2 things. You can follow along using the guide, the diagram, which is right here, or you can follow along with the written instructions. Of course, both of them say the same thing. Now, the thing I want you to pay attention to if you use the stitch diagram, alternate rounds are different colors because that's really the easiest way to see which stitch goes where. However, if you're stitching along with the diagram, the first 2 rounds are the first color and the second 2 rounds are the second color. So don't confuse the colors that are on the stitch diagram with the colors that you're going to want to use. So I'm going to just lay that off to the side. And then I also want to read from the pattern. So we're doing first flower. I'm going to put this down here so I can easily get to the yarn. And I'm using my H hook. So with color 1, chain 2. 1, 2. Round 1 or first round, 12 single crochet in second chain from hook, join with slip stitch to first single crochet. So second chain from hook, not this one but that one, and I'm going to put 12 single crochets in there. Now remember that I tension my yarn a little oddly compared to some of the rest of you, so don't freak out about how I tension. You will tension the yarn the way that you do. And I'm going to put 12 single crochets in here, and it's a tight fit. I'm going to really have to stuff them in there, so you just keep working into that same space. The other thing I want to point out is that I am working over the tail. One of the things about a lacy pattern like this is it's often hard to find a place to weave in the ends, so I'm just going to work over tail at the beginning. It will just make it a little more secure at the end when I'm having to weave the ends in. Let's see, I've lost count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's 7. That's not a stitch. That's the chain. 8, 9, 10. And you can see I'm having to slide them over to make sure there's room. 11, 12. Let's double count because I do not want to make any mistakes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12. Join round with slip stitch in first single crochet. So there's round 1 with my 12 singles. And you can see on the diagram, there's round 1 with my 12 singles. Let's move on to round 2. Chain 6, which counts as 1 double crochet, and chain 3. So chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Skip next single crochet. So we're in this one. We're going to skip that empty one. Double crochet in next single crochet. There's my double. 1, 2. There's my double. Chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And now we're just going to repeat what's after the asterisk or the star. So it's skip 1, double in the next, chain 3, and we're going to do that all the way around. 1, 2, 3, until we get to that chain 6 that was at the beginning. Skip 1, double. 1, 2, 3. Skip 1, double. 1, 2, 3. Skip 1, double. And so when we get to the end of the round, after we've done the chain 3, it says join with slip stitch to third chain of beginning chain 6. So there's my chain 6 that was at the beginning. I'm going to slip stitch in the third one. 1, 2, 3. So that's where my slip stitch is going to go. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, chain 3 spaces, and I'm going to end off my yarn right here. Pull that through to end it off. I'll weave it in later. So that's round 1 and 2 of the first flower. Now for the third round, it says join color 2 with slip stitch to any chain 3 space. So to get that going, I'm going to get my sea breeze out. I'm going to put a slip stitch on my crochet hook. And I'm going to join this color in any of the chain 3 spaces with a slip stitch. So there's my slip stitch, my yarn is joined. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 double crochet in the same chain 3 space as the slip stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 double crochet in next chain 3 space, which is over here. 1, 2, 3, I'm going to have to slide them over a little bit like I did at the beginning. 3, 4, 5, and you can see I'm working over that end tail too. It's not mandatory, it's just when I'm weaving in later, if I've worked over a little bit, it'll give it a little more stability. So I'm going to repeat from the star or the asterisk round, just chain 4, 5 double crochet in the next until we get to the end. Then I'm going to chain 4 and slip stitch to top of beginning chain 3, and that will be the end of the third round. Now, if you're going to follow along in the diagram, let's take a look. So here we are, we're working on the third round. We joined in any space that we wanted. Chain 3, 4 double crochet in the same space. Then chain 4, 5 double crochet in the next space. Chain 4, 5 double crochet in the next space. We're going to do that all the way around, and at the end we're going to chain 4 and join the round with a slip stitch in the top of that beginning chain 3. Now we're not going to change any yarn colors here. We're just going to hang tight at the end of round 3, and then I'll come back and we'll do the beginning of the fourth round on camera. Okay, here we are at the end of the third round, and as you can see, like I said I was going to, I joined the round with a slip stitch in the top of that beginning chain 3. Now we're on the fourth round. Slip stitch in each of next 2 double crochet. So slip stitch, slip stitch. And that puts me in the center of that group of 5 double crochets. Chain 1, single crochet in same space as last slip stitch. So right there where that slip stitch is, I'm going to put my first single crochet there. Now we're following the stars in the asterisk. Chain 1, skip next 2 double crochet, 1, 2, double crochet, chain 1 twice, and then there's more instructions, but it says all in the next chain 4 space. So everything we do until it tells us otherwise is right in here. Right? So we're going to double crochet, chain 1 twice. So that's 1, 2, then it says double crochet, and there it is. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and again I can slide that over with my finger if I need to. Double crochet, chain 1 3 times. So 1, 2, 3, 3, and again it says all in that same chain 4 space. Skip the next 2 double crochet. Now one of them's way back here, so you have to really slide that stuff out of the way so you can see what you're doing. So skip 2, 1, 2, and put a single crochet in the next double crochet. And once again, that's going to be the center of the group of 5. And now we're going back to the asterisk. Chain 1, skip 2 double crochet, double crochet, chain 1 twice. That's 1, 2, 1 double crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, slide it over. Then 1 double crochet, chain 1 3 times. That's 1, 2, whoops, there we go, 3, skip next 2 double crochet, single crochet in next double crochet. So again, we're skipping that one, and that single crochet goes in the middle. And we're going to repeat that all the way around, joining around with a slip stitch in that very first single crochet, and then we're going to end off that flower. Let's take a look at the diagram. So we're up here on round 4 with slip stitch in the next 2 double crochet. There they are, those little dots are slip stitches. Chain 1 single crochet, then chain 1 double, so it's double chain 1, double chain 1 twice, then double crochet, chain 3, double crochet, chain 1 3 times. 1, 2, 3, skip 2 doubles, single crochet in the next double. All right, so the text and the diagram are exactly the same, and you can follow whichever one you like. So let's go ahead and finish this 4th round, and then the first flower will be finished and we'll get started on the 2nd flower. Now I'm getting ready to work my 2nd flower. Looking at the chart on page 2, I can see that that's going to be color palette B. I'm going here on color palette B. It says the first 2 rows are the color B that we have at the beginning, and that was ecru. And the second 2 rows are color C from the beginning, and that was lilac. So I have my ecru and my lilac all ready to go for my 2nd flower. Now, if I look at the instructions, I see that the first 3 rounds are the same for the 2nd flower as they were for the 1st flower. It says work from double asterisk to double asterisk as given for 1st flower, and there's not any changes until the 4th round. So I'm going to begin the 2nd flower off camera. I'm going to do the first 3 rounds because we've already gone over that. You know how to do it. And I'll join you back here for round 4, in which we're going to join the 2nd flower to the 1st flower. All right, we're doing the 4th round of the 2nd flower, and we're going to join the 2nd flower to the 1st flower. Now there's only one join, and it's right there. And that's because these flowers have not been made yet. This is the only one that we have, and so there's only one join to make. So here is my 1st flower. Now you want to make sure that you have the right sides facing you at all times. If you have a little confusion about which is the right side and which is the wrong side, go ahead and use one of those locking stitch markers that I'm always talking about and mark the right side of the fabric so that you're sure that you're always joining them appropriately. So let's follow the instructions for the 4th round of the 2nd flower, but we need that 1st flower to be hanging out because we're going to need it in a minute. All right, 4th round, slip stitch in each of next 2 double crochet. Now, so this round begins the same way the 4th round began on the 1st flower. Chain 1, single crochet in same space as the last slip stitch. So far so good, and so far the same as the first time we did this. Chain 1, skip 2 double crochet, and we're going to do this all in the next chain 4 space. Double crochet, chain 1 twice, that's 1, 2. Then 1 double crochet. Now, if we were doing this the way we did it before, the next thing up would be a chain 3, but we're not. We're going to go ahead and do a join. So I'm going to chain 1, slip stitch, corresponding chain 3 space of adjoining motif of the first flower. Now, because nothing has been joined yet, it doesn't matter. Just pick a petal. Now, I like to go from the top down on my slip stitch. Some people like to go from the bottom up. Whichever way you choose, be consistent throughout so that they all look the same. So top down is okay, bottom up is okay, but whichever way you do it the same every time. So I'm going through the chain 3 space of the adjoining point, yarn over and finish the slip stitch. So that's through that chain 3 space and also through the loop that was on my hook. And then I'm going to have another chain 1 and then double crochet chain 1 3 times. 1, 2, 3, skip 2 double crochet, single crochet in the next double crochet. Remember, there's that one, single crochet in the middle one. Now you can see that these two are joined together at one point, just like they are on this diagram and just like they are on our assembly diagram. Now, the rest of the round is the same as it was the first time, so I'm going to go ahead and finish the round and end it off, and then I'm going to start the third flower. I'm going to pull the colors by looking at the chart. I look over here at C, I look over here, C tells me what colors to pull out of my stash. I'm going to make the first 3 rounds because, again, the first 3 rounds are the same all the way around, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to join the third motif. We're going to join the third motif to the first motif. All right? Okay, I'm getting ready to join my third flower. The third flower joins to the first flower, but as opposed to the second flower joining to the first flower, which only joined at one point, the third flower is joining to the first flower at 2 points. So we have to make sure that we're joining into the correct points, because from here on out, it has to lay flat. If you join in an incorrect point, then it won't lay nice, all right? So what I have done here is I have done the beginning of the 4th round of the third flower, which is like the beginning of all the other 4th rounds. So I did slip stitch into each of next 2 double crochets, chain 1, single crochet in same space as last slip stitch, chain 1, skip 2 double crochets, and then all in the next chain 4 space, we're going to double crochet chain 1 twice, and then double crochet. And then this is where we're going to join. Chain 1, slip stitch in corresponding chain 3 space of adjoining flower, which is the first flower. So this is the first of the 2 points that I'm going to join, so I know I have to go here. I'm going to join my first one here so I can join my second one here, and my third one's already attached. And then I can also look on this diagram. I have a join here and a join here because that join has already happened and I need those points to be consecutive. All right, so instead of chain 3, we're going to chain 1, slip stitch in the chain 3 space opposite. Again, come down from the top consistently or up from the bottom consistently. Chain 1, then I'm going to finish this section, chain 3, single crochet 3 times. 1, 2, 3, chain 1, skip 2 double crochet, 1, 2, single crochet in the next double crochet, chain 1. Going to begin the next section. skip 2 double crochet, and then double crochet, chain 1 twice, 2, and double crochet. Now I'm going to do chain 1, slip stitch into the point, chain 1. So chain 1, going to go in the next point. So these guys are already joined. I'm going to go in this empty one, down from the top, slip stitch, chain 1, finish this section, 1, 2, 3, skip 2 doubles and single crochet, skip 2 doubles and single crochet. Now that's the only 2 places where this guy has to join to this guy, and this guy doesn't join to this guy at all. So now I'm going to finish the round like I've been doing and fasten it off, and then I'm going to begin the 4th, which joins in here, and I'm going to do the same thing I've been doing. I'm going to check the chart to make sure I have the right colors. That is color D. I'm going over here, motif D, so I pull the right colors, and I'm going to do the first 3 rounds the same as I have been doing for all of the other rounds. Then I'm going to come back for that 4th round, and in that point you can see I'm going to be joining 3 places, 1, 2, 3 places. So let me get caught up and we'll take a look at that on camera. Okay, now we're working on the 4th motif. You can see here this is number 4. I have done the beginning of round 4 like I did on the last one, and you're going to see I'm going to join it once to the 3rd motif and twice to the 2nd motif. So let's see how that looks. I've begun the round like I did the last time. I'm up to where that chain 3 would be in the corner, but we're going to chain 1, join into this point on the 3rd motif, chain 1, and you can see it's the point next to the one that's full. So there's these 2 are full up here, and then it's the next empty one. So I finish my slip stitch, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1 3 times. This is really intuitive. By the time I'm on this 4th motif and you're going to be in the same boat, you really almost don't have to read the pattern anymore because it's a very intuitive way to stitch. So now I'm going to go ahead, skip 2 doubles, put the single in the next double, chain 1, and now I'm going to start joining on that 2nd motif. 2, then it says 1 double crochet. All right, chain 1, join to the adjacent one, so it's this guy, that's the empty one. So slip stitch there, chain 1, and then double crochet, chain 1 3 times. Skip 2 double crochet, single crochet in the next double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1 twice, 1, 2, double crochet, chain 1, join in the adjacent loop, which is that next guy, with a slip stitch, chain 1, and then go back in here to finish that section, and then you're going to finish the round. Okay, there we have motif 1, motif 2, motif 3, motif 4. Moving forward, following the directions for the color chart, you're going to repeat the mechanics for the 3rd and 4th motif over and over. So it essentially goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4. That's, you're just going to do it in the same way, but of course that will be the 5th and the 6th and then the 7th and the 8th. And then once again, you're going to keep an eye on those letters, and those letters are going to tell you what color you should work with next, because you're going to take that color code and double check over here to see which colors you're going to pull from that list at the center. Once all these are joined, you can see there's no points flopping around in the center. The points are joined here, and also on the side. So there's some valleys going on in this circle, but there's no flopping around points. So the last thing that I want to show you is the joining motif. And as you can see in our completed sample, it's in that bright green color. So the first couple of rounds are on their own. We're going to start in the center and do these 2 rounds, and then that last round we're going to join to the already existing large motifs. So let's take a look at that joining motif. Okay, so let's take a closer look at the center joining motif. We're using color H, which is this bright green, and the first thing it says is chain 2. So chain 2. First round, 4 single crochet in second chain from hook, join with slip stitch to first single crochet. So once again, we skip the closest one, and we're going to put 4 single crochet in the same spot, which is the second chain from hook. So there's 1, 2, let's see if I can get it in there, 3, 4, join the round with a slip stitch in the first single crochet, which is right there. Let's get it under both legs of the stitch and join. That's round 1. Now it says chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to make essentially 4 cluster stitches, but the beginning one is a little bit different because we have this chain 3 to incorporate. So let's talk through it. YOH twice and draw up a loop, and we're going to work in that first single crochet. So YOH is yarn over hook. So yarn over hook twice, draw up a loop in that same single crochet where the slip stitch is, yarn over hook, draw through 2 loops on hook twice, and we're going to do that action 3 times total. So yarn over hook twice, draw up a loop, yarn over hook, draw through 2, yarn over hook, draw through 2, one more time, yarn over hook twice, insert in that same stitch, draw it up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, draw through 2. I have 4 loops on my hook, and the last instruction is yarn over hook and draw through 4 loops on hook. Beginning cluster made. So that's the first cluster. Then we're going to chain 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now moving on to the next single crochet. Oh, now make sure, you see what I just did, I flipped it right side, wrong side. You don't want to do that. I know my tail's in the back, so that is the wrong side of the work. So make sure you keep the right side facing. It's really easy to twist it at the beginning. So now we're going to yarn over hook twice and draw up a loop. Now we're working in that next stitch. Yarn over, draw through 2, yarn over, draw through 2. And we're going to do that a total of 4 times. And again, we did it 3 over here because we had that chain 3 at the beginning that we had to accommodate, but from here on out it's 4. So yarn over hook twice, draw up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, 2 more times, draw up a loop, 1 more time, now this time I have 5 loops on my hook, not 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the instructions tell me yarn over and draw through all 5 loops on hook. So there's my second one. I'm going to chain 8, make the third one, chain 8, make the fourth one, chain 8, join with a slip stitch in the top of the first cluster. So let me get done with that. And then we're going to join this to the flower motifs. I'll be right back. Okay, we're finally ready for the fun part. So reading the instructions for the third round of the center joining motif, it says slip stitch in the first chain 8 space, chain 1, single crochet in same space as last slip stitch. So basically all we're doing is getting the single crochet in the chain 8 space where we need it to be. Now it says chain 3, slip stitch in corresponding single crochet of adjoining flower, chain 3, single crochet in same chain 8 space as last single crochet, chain 4, slip stitch in corresponding slip stitch of adjoining flower, etc., etc., etc. So the point that I want to make, when you're doing this, the instructions, written instructions, sound a tiny bit confusing, but it's really not. The slip stitches are always at the join. So if it tells you you're joining into a slip stitch, that's where those flowers are joined. If it tells you you're joining into a single crochet, that's what I call the valley. That's the part where it dips down towards the flower. So that's a single, that's a single, that's a single, that's a single. So singles are in the valleys, slip stitches are at the joins, and let's go ahead and get started. So I have my single crochet in the same space as the last slip stitch, so I'm starting at the asterisk. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, slip stitch and corresponding single crochet of adjoining flower. So I'm going to start at this one because it's the easiest one for me to see. And in the same way that when I did my slip stitch joins, I worked for the top down consistently or the bottom up consistently, I'm going to do the same thing here. So now I have joined that into the single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, whoops, working too tight, 3, single crochet in same chain 8 space as last single crochet. So the same chain 8 space, there's my single. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, slip stitch and corresponding slip stitch of adjoining flower. So I'm going to go to the next slip stitch, which is right there. Now you can work directly into the slip stitch like it recommends. Let's see, top down, I guess I would be going in this direction. If you aren't bothered by the visuals, you could also just work in that same space, but it might slip around a little bit. So if you can manage, go right into that slip stitch. Top down, because that's what I've been doing throughout. Yarn over, finish the slip stitch. It's a little bit tight, but that's good because that means it's not going to move. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, single crochet in next chain 8 space. So that's way over here. Repeat from the star or asterisk. All right, let's go ahead and try that one more time. Going back to the very first asterisk, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, slip stitch and corresponding single crochet of adjoining flower. That's going to be the next flower. And there's my single crochet in the valley. And I'm working top down because that's what I've been doing. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, single crochet in the same chain 8 space as the one you just made. Now chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, slip stitch and corresponding slip stitch. That's way up here. So slip stitch in that slip stitch. Oops, does not want to go for me today. Slip stitch in the slip stitch. There it is. It's going to be a tiny bit tight, but that's okay. Slip stitch in the slip stitch. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and single crochet in the next chain 8 space. So you're going to do this all the way around. And you can see, see if I can get this to lay nice and flat. All right, so you're joining to each flower as you go around. When you get back to here, you're going to join the round with a slip stitch in the very first single crochet and end off. So to make this, you want to make all of your large flower motifs first and get them in those 2 columns like I showed you on page 2. Maybe weave in all your ends at that point, but then when you're finished, go back with the H and do all the fill-in motifs. And of course, it's going to look like our fabulous sample right here. All right, so large motifs first and then the fill-ins, and you'll work the fill-ins all the way down. Thank you so much for joining us here as we went through the Flower Power Crochet Table Runner in these beautiful colors of Lily Sugar and Cream. I thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to seeing you again soon.